Commander Alex Reed straightened his uniform one last time before the airlock opened. His heart beat fast in his chest. After all, this was humanity's first official meeting with aliens. Remember, General Moore had told him earlier, "Be friendly but careful. We don't know what they want." The metal door slid open with a soft hiss. Before him stood three figures in what looked like environmental suits. They were thin and tall, with 4 arms each and skin that seemed almost clear under their protective gear. "Welcome to Earth Station Alpha," Alex said with a practiced smile. "I'm Commander Reed of the Earth Space Defense Force." The middle alien stepped forward. It moved slowly, as if the standard gravity was too heavy. "Greetings, Commander. I am Ambassador Trell of the Galactic Council. We are pleased to finally make official contact with your species." Alex noticed how the alien flinched when he extended his hand for a handshake, quickly pulling back. "My apologies," Trell said. "We've prepared for this meeting, but seeing a Class 14 species up close is startling." Alex frowned. "Class 14. I'm not familiar with that term." Trell's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Curious. You don't know your own world classification. Earth is rated as Class 14 on the Galactic Habitability Scale." The meeting moved to the station's conference room. Alex watched as the aliens moved with extreme care, seeming afraid of bumping into anything. "Most intelligent life evolves on worlds rated Class 2 to 4, explained Trell, settling into a reinforced chair. "Your Earth is exceptional." "Is that good?" asked Dr. Lisa Park, the team's xenobiologist. The 3 aliens looked at each other. "It is remarkable that life exists at all in such conditions," said one of Trell's assistants. "The radiation levels alone should be lethal." Alex felt confused. Earth had always seemed like a perfect cradle for life. "What makes Earth so dangerous by your standards?" "Everything," said Trell simply. "Your gravity is crushing. Your atmosphere is toxic with reactive oxygen. Your temperature swings would kill most species. Your background radiation levels are extraordinary. Your weather patterns are violent. Your tectonic activity is extreme. Your wildlife is." The alien paused, searching for words, terrifying. During dinner, prepared to accommodate both species, Alex reached for a metal cup. As he picked it up, the thin metal bent slightly under his normal grip. A gasp came from all 3 aliens. "Are you demonstrating your strength?" asked Trell, backing away slightly. Alex looked down at the bent cup. "No, this is just normal for us." "Is something wrong?" The aliens huddled, speaking quickly in their own language. Finally, Trell turned back. "Commander Reed, we must be honest. For centuries, your planet has been classified as a Deathworld, the most extreme category. Your species has been listed as extremely dangerous sentience in our databases." The room went silent. "That's absurd," said Dr. Park. "We're peaceful. We've never even met aliens before today." Trell's assistant projected a hologram showing Earth's solar system. "We've observed your world for a long time, but direct contact was considered too risky until recently. Your species survived multiple extinction events that would have eliminated life on any normal world. You endure conditions daily that would kill most sentients instantly." Alex stared at the hologram, seeing his home planet through alien eyes for the first time. "Are you saying we're monsters?" he asked quietly. "No," said Trell. "But you are something the galaxy has rarely seen. You are Deathworlders, beings who evolved in conditions so extreme that your basic biology is weaponized by our standards." As the meeting ended, Alex watched the aliens return to their ship with new eyes. They weren't just diplomatic visitors. They were afraid of humans. And Alex wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not. 1 week after first contact, Dr. Marcus Bell paced in his lab. The walls were covered with new charts comparing humans to aliens. Each chart told the same story. "This can't be right," he muttered, checking his calculations again. A knock at the door broke his focus. Commander Reed entered with Tom Wilson, Earth's military advisor. "Please tell me you have good news," Reed said. Marcus pointed to the screens. "If these numbers are correct, humans are between 5 and 20 times stronger than the average galactic species. Our bones are denser. Our muscles are more powerful. Our reaction time is faster. Even our skin is tougher." Tom whistled. "So we're basically superheroes to them. More like monsters," Marcus said. "Look at this data they sent about world classifications." A hologram appeared showing planets ranked from Class 1 to Class 15. "Most intelligent life evolves on worlds between Class 2 and 4, Marcus explained. "These are gentle planets with stable weather, low gravity, minimal radiation, and few natural predators." Reed pointed to Earth's position on the chart. "And we're Class 14, just below Class 15, which are uninhabitable rocks. Even the Galactic Council's toughest species come from Class 8 worlds at most." Tom frowned. "This changes everything. We thought we were entering the galactic stage as newcomers. Turns out we're the tough guys." A message flashed on Marcus's screen. "Ambassador Trell wants to meet. They've set up a demonstration in Lab 3. When they arrived, they found Trell with 3 other aliens in environmental suits. A large container sat in the middle of the room. "Dr. Bell," Trell greeted, "we thought a practical demonstration might help you understand our concerns. This contains a common predator from a Class 6 world." The container opened. Inside was something like a lizard with 6 legs and sharp teeth. To human eyes, it looked small and not very dangerous. "This creature is considered extremely dangerous," Trell explained. "It has killed many explorers." Tom laughed. "That thing. It's smaller than a house cat." Trell's assistant activated a screen showing the creature attacking something. Its jaw strength was impressive for its size, but nothing shocking to humans used to Earth's predators. "Now," said Trell nervously, "would you show your Earth predator as agreed?" Marcus nodded and opened another container. Inside was an ordinary house cat. The alien scientists backed away quickly. One nearly fell. "This is a common Earth pet," Marcus explained. "Not even considered dangerous." The cat yawned, showing its teeth. The aliens flinched. "Its muscle density is remarkable," Trell whispered. "And the claws. Retractable natural weapons." Reed realized they were genuinely frightened. "Wait until they see a tiger," he whispered to Tom. That evening, world leaders gathered to discuss the implications of humanity's new status. "The public needs to know," said President Clark. "Earth isn't weak. We're essentially apex predators on the galactic scale. But we need to be careful," Reed cautioned. "They're already afraid of us. We don't want to make it worse." The president nodded. "True, but this also means we can negotiate from a position of strength. They need our help in environments they consider extreme." As the meeting ended, Marcus received a message from a friendly alien scientist with new data. "Commander," he called to Reed. "According to this, humans can survive conditions that would kill 98% of known species. Our speed, strength, and durability aren't just better. They're exponentially better." Reed looked out the window at the stars. "So what are we to them? Monsters or potential allies?" "That," Marcus replied, "depends on what we do next." Outside the window, Earth glowed blue and green, beautiful, deadly, and full of creatures that could survive almost anything the galaxy threw at them. Humanity was about to step onto a much larger stage, and no one knew whether they would be welcomed or feared. Ambassador Lisa Walker stepped off the shuttle onto Proxima Station. After 3 months of training, Earth's first permanent embassy in space was about to open. The station orbited a planet in the Alpha Centauri system, serving as a neutral meeting place for over 30 alien species. "Welcome, Ambassador Walker," said a tall, blue-skinned alien. "I am Director Kell of Proxima Station. We have prepared your section according to Earth specifications." Lisa nodded. "Thank you, Director. My team is eager to begin work." The human embassy took up a small section of the massive station. Lissa noticed the walls were extra thick and the doors reinforced. Your area has been strengthened to handle human strength, Kel explained, seeing her expression. And we've increased oxygen levels to match Earth standards, though other species find it uncomfortable. Toxic, you mean? Lisa said with a small smile. Kel's skin darkened slightly, their version of a blush. Well, yes. What you breathe would poison most species over time. The first week went well. Diplomats from various worlds visited, though most stayed only briefly. They stared at the humans with a mix of fear and curiosity. Some brought gifts or trade proposals, especially for Earth metals that were rare elsewhere. On the 8th day, alarms blared throughout the station. Ambassador called Bill, her security chief. We have a problem. Several explosions in the station's core. Life support is failing in multiple sections. Lisa rushed to the command center. Director Kel looked panicked. A group calling themselves Purity Front has attacked the station, he explained. They believe Deathworlders, humans, should be contained, not welcomed. How can we help? Lisa asked. The damage is in sections with high radiation and failing life support. We cannot send rescue teams there. Lisa understood immediately. What was deadly to most aliens might be merely uncomfortable for humans. Vil, gather our security team. We're going in. Kel's eyes widened. Ambassador, the radiation levels are at 30 rads and rising. Oxygen is dropping. Temperature is falling to -20 degrees. We can handle it, Lisa said. For a few hours, at least, long enough to help. The human team moved through the damaged sections, wearing simple breathing masks. What would kill most alien species in minutes was, for humans, like walking through a cold winter day with poor air quality. They found injured aliens trapped in the damaged areas and carried them to safety. Lissa herself carried 3 small aliens under her arms, moving through near darkness as emergency lights flickered. When they reached a working section, medical teams rushed to help the injured. The aliens stared at the humans in shock. You were in there for over 2 hours, one medical officer said. How are you still alive? Earth conditions, Bill explained simply. Security cameras had recorded everything. By evening, footage of humans walking through what aliens considered lethal conditions, carrying injured station residents to safety, had spread across the galactic network. In the station's medical bay, Lisa checked on the rescued aliens. Director Kel approached her. Ambassador Walker, I must apologize. We received intelligence that this attack was planned, but dismissed it as unlikely. Why? Asked Lisa. Because the target made no sense. They wanted to kill humans by creating conditions that would, by our understanding, be fatal. Kel paused. We didn't realize you could survive. Lisa sat down, suddenly understanding the implications. They used what would kill your species. Yes, but for you, it was merely uncomfortable. Unpleasant, but survivable. Lisa confirmed. On Earth, rescue workers deal with worse conditions during disasters. That night, as repair teams worked to fix the station, Lisa received a message from Earth Command. Thousands of messages were pouring in from across the galaxy. Humans were being called the unbreakable ones and death defiers. Our reputation has changed, Bill noted, reading over her shoulder. Yes, Lisa agreed, but I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Instead of dangerous primitives, now they see us as unstoppable. She looked out at the stars, wondering what this would mean for humanity's future in the galaxy. Captain James Foster stood at attention as Admiral Harris read the message from the Galactic Defense Fleet. They want human soldiers, James asked, surprised. Not just soldiers. Explorers, rescue teams, and survival experts, the Admiral replied. After the Proxima station incident, they've realized we can go places they can't. 1 month later, James boarded the GDF starship Horizon as the first human to join an alien crew. The ship was larger than any Earth vessel, with special quarters built just for him. "Welcome aboard, Captain Foster," said Commander Nix, a tall alien with purple skin. "Your reputation precedes you." James smiled. "I hope that's a good thing." "We shall see," Nix replied. "Our mission begins tomorrow." A research vessel crashed on Frost 7, an ice planet. 2 rescue teams have already failed to reach it. Later in the crew lounge, James studied the mission details. Frost 7 had temperatures of -80 degrees, thin atmosphere, and constant ice storms. "No wonder their rescue teams failed," he muttered. "You find it difficult as well?" asked Lyra, the ship's science officer. James shook his head. "Challenging, but not impossible. With the right gear, humans have survived worse conditions on Earth." Lyra's eyes widened. "Truly? Your Class 14 world has such places. We call them polar regions. People live there year-round." The next day, the Horizon reached Frost 7. James joined the rescue team, wearing a thermal suit designed for human use. The alien members wore complex environmental pods. As they stepped onto the planet's surface, wind howled around them. Ice crystals struck their suits like tiny bullets. "Life support failing," announced one alien crew member after just 30 minutes. "Must return to ship." Soon, only James remained, trudging through the snow toward the crashed ship's beacon. "Foster, you should return." Commander Nix's voice crackled over the radio. "No one can survive these conditions for long." "I'm fine," James replied. "Humans have crossed Antarctica and worse." He reached the crashed ship 2 hours later. Inside, he found 3 alien scientists huddled in emergency blankets, their life support almost gone. "A human," one croaked. "We thought no one could reach us." James grinned. "Let's get you home." Using parts from the crash, he built a simple sled to pull the scientists across the ice. The trip back took 3 hours, but James never stopped. When they finally reached the Horizon, the entire crew watched in amazement. "Impossible," whispered Commander Nix, helping the scientists board. "You walked for 5 hours in conditions that should kill most species in minutes." James shrugged. "Just another day for a Deathworlder." In the months that followed, James helped the GDF create training programs for mixed species teams. Humans taught survival skills while learning alien technology. "They need us," James told Admiral Harris during a video call. "Most aliens evolved on safe worlds. They never developed our survival instincts." "Not everyone is happy about it," the Admiral warned. "Some alien factions think we're gaining influence too quickly." James frowned. "There's something else. I found old records suggesting Earth was deliberately isolated from galactic contact for centuries." "Why?" "Fear. A science team visited Earth 500 years ago. Only one member returned, talking about monsters and death beyond imagining." "They meant us," the Admiral said quietly. "Yes, they thought we were too dangerous to contact. Now they need our help, but the old fear remains." After the call ended, James looked out at the stars. Humans were changing the galaxy just by existing. Species that once ruled space now realized they weren't as advanced as they thought, at least not when it came to survival. For better or worse, the Deathworlders had arrived on the galactic stage. Dr. Kate Reynolds wiped dust from the ancient console. After 6 months of diplomatic requests, humans had finally gained access to the galactic archives on Helios AX, a planet dedicated to storing knowledge. "This place is incredible," she told her assistant, Mike. "Records going back millions of years." The alien librarian, a thin being named Voss, watched nervously. "Please be careful, Doctor. Your strength could damage these artifacts." Kate nodded, using just her fingertips to touch the delicate controls. The archives contain knowledge from thousands of worlds, translated into a common data format. After 3 days of searching, Kate found something odd. A sealed file labeled "The Abandoned Experiment." "What's this?" she asked Voss. The librarian's skin paled. "That file is restricted. It requires special permissions. Can you request them?" Kate asked. "I will try, but it may take time." That night, Mike approached her quarters with excitement. "I slipped into the restricted section using the access codes Ambassador Walker provided. Look what I found." On his tablet was a star map showing Earth's solar system. The file date translated to over 2 billion years ago. "This can't be right," Kate whispered. "According to this, Earth was terraformed." The next day, they dove deeper into the forbidden archives. What they found stunned them both. "Earth wasn't natural," Kate said, reading the ancient text. "It was created as a weapons testing ground by a species called the Precursors." "Weapons testing?" Mike asked. "Not conventional weapons. Living ones." Kate's hands trembled as she scrolled through the data. "They seeded Earth with basic life forms, then made the conditions increasingly harsh. Higher gravity, more radiation, extreme temperatures, atmospheric toxins. Why? To create stronger, more adaptable organisms. Essentially, they were designing life forms that could survive anything." The records showed the Precursors had created similar experiments on other worlds, gradually increasing the harshness of conditions. Earth, classified as Project 14, was their most extreme attempt. "Look at this," Mike said, pointing to newer records. "About 500 million years ago, all contact with the Precursors ended. They simply disappeared." Kate leaned back, overwhelmed. "So we're the result of an ancient military experiment. We're literally designed to be living weapons. Should we tell Earth Command?" Mike asked. Kate hesitated. This could cause panic. Some might use it to justify human aggression. "But we deserve to know our history." Later that day, Voss approached them with more files. "I found these in a secondary archive. They may help complete your understanding." The new files showed Earth had been abandoned after the Precursors vanished. The current galactic powers discovered it millennia later but chose to quarantine the planet. "They feared what might evolve there," Voss explained. "And they were right to be cautious. Your species survived conditions designed to be nearly impossible for life." That night, Kate made a difficult decision. She didn't just send the files to Earth Command. She also sent copies to trusted friends across species lines, including Ambassador Walker and Captain Foster. "Some will want this buried," she told Mike. "But if it only goes to human leaders, it might be classified forever." As she stared at the stars outside her window, Kate wondered what this meant for humanity's place in the galaxy. They weren't just random survivors of a harsh world. They were the end result of a deliberate plan to create the ultimate survivors. "We weren't an accident," she whispered. "We were the goal all along." But as she sent the last message, alarms began to sound throughout the archive complex. Someone had discovered what they'd found and was coming to stop them. Ambassador Lisa Walker stood before the full Galactic Council. Representatives from over 200 worlds watched from their seats in the massive chamber. The mood was tense. "We reject these accusations," Lisa said firmly. "Earth has followed all treaty guidelines since first contact." The leader of the council, a tall being named High Counselor Morn, raised his hand. "Yet we have reports that humans are accessing restricted archives, interfering in planetary affairs, and expanding their influence beyond agreed limits." Lisa knew exactly what had caused this emergency session. Dr. Reynolds' discovery in the archives had leaked, and some factions were panicking. As she left the chamber, a message arrived from Earth Command. "Return immediately. Situation critical." Back on Earth, President Clark met with military and scientific leaders. The screen showed a massive alien fleet gathering at the edge of the solar system. "They call themselves the Conclave," General Moore explained. "An alliance of isolationist worlds that believe humans should be contained to our solar system, or face extinction," added Commander Reed grimly. "They issued an ultimatum," the president said. "Either we agree to remain in our solar system forever, or they'll take action to eliminate the threat we pose." "That's absurd," Lisa protested. "We've done nothing threatening." "Except exist," Dr. Bell said quietly. "For some species, our mere existence is terrifying, especially now that they know we were designed as potential weapons." Meanwhile, aboard the GDF ship Horizon, Captain James Foster received a coded message from Dr. Reynolds. The transmission was garbled, but the meaning clear. The Conclave had been behind the embassy attack and other incidents, deliberately sabotaging human diplomatic efforts. "Commander," James said to Nix, "I need to speak to the Admiral immediately. I think we're being set up." Before Nix could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Multiple vessels approaching," announced the tactical officer. "Conclave signatures." On the main screen, 3 warships appeared. "Weapons charge." "They're hailing us," said the communications officer. The face of a Conclave commander filled the screen. "Captain Foster, your presence is required. Surrender your vessel." "For what purpose?" James asked. "You have knowledge of a bioweapon facility, a facility designed to target humans specifically." James exchanged looks with Nix. This was the first they'd heard of any bioweapon. "I don't know what you're talking about," James said. "Then you will come with us and learn," the Conclave commander replied, "or we will destroy your ship." Nix stepped forward. "This vessel is under GDF protection. Any hostile action will be considered an act of war." The Conclave commander smiled coldly. "War is already inevitable. The Deathworlders cannot be allowed to spread." As the transmission ended, James quickly accessed the ship's database. The coordinates in Dr. Reynolds' message pointed to a remote space station near the galactic rim. "Commander, I believe they're developing a pathogen designed to kill only humans," James explained. "That's why they want me, to test it. If true, this violates every treaty in galactic law," Nix said. "We need to get to those coordinates and find proof," James urged. Back on Earth, Ambassador Walker was working desperately to build a coalition with friendly alien species. "If they can target humans today, they could target your species tomorrow," she told the ambassadors. As Earth's military prepared for a possible attack, ships throughout the galaxy began taking sides. The crisis had reached a breaking point. In her office, Lisa looked at a message from Dr. Reynolds. "There's more to the archives than I first found. Earth wasn't just a weapons testing ground. It was something else too. Something important." But before she could learn more, the sky lit up with the arrival of the Conclave fleet. Time had run out. Dr. Kate Reynolds ran through the corridors of the ancient archive, clutching a small data crystal. Guards were closing in from all directions. "Mike, did you get the transmission out?" she called to her assistant. "Yes, but I don't know if anyone received it before they jammed our signals." They rounded a corner and found themselves face to face with Voss, the librarian. "This way," Voss whispered, pointing to a hidden door. "Quickly." Inside a small chamber filled with even older technology, Voss activated a console. "I study the archives for 200 years. There are things even the Council doesn't know." "Like what?" Kate asked, catching her breath. "The truth about Earth, about the precursors." Voss's hands moved across the ancient controls. It wasn't just a weapons testing ground. A hologram appeared, showing Earth billions of years ago. "The precursors were facing extinction," Voss explained. "A cosmic event was coming that would sterilize much of the galaxy. They seeded compatible planets with increasingly resilient life forms." Kate stared at the simulation. Earth wasn't for weapons. It was for survival. "Yes," Voss nodded. Earth, Class 14, was their final, most ambitious project. The harshest conditions, but the ones most likely to create life that could survive anything. Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon, Captain James Foster and Commander Nix led a daring assault on the secret Conclave facility. Fighting through automated defenses, they reached the central lab. "By the stars," Nix gasped, seeing the bioweapon containers. "This is genocide. "We need evidence," James said, downloading data from the main computer. "The full council needs to see this." As they secured the facility, a transmission broke through the jamming. It was Dr. Reynolds' final discovery from the archives. "Commander," James said, "we need to get this to Earth immediately." The Conclave fleet surrounded Earth, weapons ready. On the planet's surface, Ambassador Walker stood in the emergency council chamber, addressing the representatives who had remained loyal. "We won't surrender our right to exist," she declared. "But we don't want war." The Conclave leader's face appeared on the main screen. "Your time is up, Ambassador. Humanity is too dangerous to be allowed free rein in the galaxy." Suddenly, the screen split. Captain Foster appeared alongside several GDF ships. "We have evidence of Conclave war crimes," James announced. "A biological weapon designed to target humans exclusively." Murmurs of shock spread through the chamber. "Lies," shouted the Conclave leader. "I have transmitted the data to all council members," James continued. "But there's more." The screen changed again, showing Dr. Reynolds and Voss. "The truth about Earth has been hidden for billions of years," Kate said. "We weren't designed as weapons, but as preservers." She explained what Voss had discovered, how the precursors had created Earth as their final hope for life to continue after a cosmic disaster. "Humans carry the genetic legacy of countless extinct species," Kate concluded. "We weren't meant to conquer. We were meant to survive, to ensure life itself would continue no matter what." The chamber fell silent. Even the Conclave leader had no response. Over the next hours, ships throughout the system powered down weapons. The full Galactic Council convened an emergency session to review all evidence. 3 days later, humanity received their answer. Earth would be recognized as both protectorate and protector, a special status acknowledging their unique origin and capabilities. As Ambassador Walker signed the new treaty, she smiled at Captain Foster and Dr. Reynolds on either side of her. "So we're not monsters after all," she said quietly. "No," Kate replied. "Just survivors carrying an ancient trust." Outside the council chamber, hundreds of species watched the ceremony. Some still feared humans, but many now looked to Earth with new hope. After all, if there was one thing the galaxy needed, it was species that could face the impossible and survive.